people are going to say Santa Cruz are a bunch of nasty profit-seeking whores, and they're just trying to get my dollar.
Why is your assumption? Because I think you're starting.
Because I'm reading all the message boards, and they're already.
But that's like 100. That's like 100 people.
Well,
right?
I guess
that's like a fucking 100 bored, cynical, angry fucks. And let's stop paying attention to their bitterness and their anger about what's going on. We don't have to feed the trolls. You don't have to feed them.
This is a story of the Bronson, a bike that represents a shift that's occurring right now in the mountain biking world. But first, a bit of history. A ways back, Santa Cruz Bicycles began redesigning their popular Blur LT model. This is one of the 26-inch mules, a sort of working prototype. I rode this one all around BC and even at the Mavic Cruz Bronson in France last year. It was great. I thought it was ready. I thought Santa Cruz thought it was ready. But then something happened. Santa Cruz sent us a new version of this mystery bike. It was different. It was alien. It was 650B. I suppose we shouldn't have been surprised. The entire bike industry is grappling with this question at the moment. Should they stick with the 26-inch wheel, or should they go to the in-between size? We wanted to find out why Santa Cruz decided to make the jump to 650B with the Bronson. What was their reasoning? Why did they feel that this wheel size was the best choice for the bike? We went straight to the source and met Santa Cruz head engineer, Joe Graney.
So we made the three 26-inch wheeled mules. And we thought we had a great bike at the end of that. And we get a lot of email and phone calls and so forth about people wanting to convert existing bikes that we have into 650Bs. So we thought, before we made that decision to go to really start the design process in 26-inch, we should explore the 650B thing. Since we'd never made one of those 650B bike before, we weren't sure where to start. So the first mule was a little off, the second mule was really good. So then we built those two with the exact identical drivetrain and brakes. We got the same fork for both. We were hoping that we would go out and ride one and it would clearly be better and that would make the decision, but they were both really good. So then you're like, we can't make both of these bikes. So we had to figure out which one we were going to make.
At your gut level, where did the 27.5, where was it better than the 26? In what respect?
It sounds like a cliche, but it's the same thing that everybody's going to say. You get a little bit more of that stability that you get with a 29er, but not all the way there. So you can still kind of play with the bike as you're downhill. You can pick it up and move it around. It's not quite as playful as the 26. So it gives you that, it's a little piece of what you get with what we liked about 29ers. And I don't think we didn't think you gave up anything. I wish people would stop talking about wheel size.
Okay, so that's one of our questions is there just too much emphasis on wheel size?
Yeah, well, everybody thinks that 29ers are going to be great at this. You can make a shitty 29er. You could make a 29er that, blows through the travel, that doesn't handle. You can make a big flexy 29er. You can make stiff ones. You can have ones that don't paddle well and absorb. It's still just a mountain bike. It's a mountain bike is a mountain bike with different wheel sizes on it. You can make shitty 29ers, you can make shitty 26s, you can make shitty 27.5s. You can also make good ones.
Joe went on to give us an in-depth tour of the testing and development cycle each up-and-coming model must go through. Santa Cruz are pretty dogmatic about creating durable bikes, a good thing, but it really wasn't why we were there. We were still curious about the whole 650B thing and decided to get Santa Cruz design engineer Nick Anderson's thoughts on the subject.
It feels a lot to me like the same thing as the 29er all over again. Like when 29ers came out and people were like, well, that's just this new fad, but now, like more than 60% of our sales are 29ers, and people that, like, if we hadn't come out with a 29er, we would have been in trouble. Like if we were a diehard 26-inch bike manufacturer, it would have really hurt us. So we're always trying to make stuff that we're excited about. You also have to make stuff that the market's asking for. If you have thousands of emails coming in every month where people are saying, you know, why don't you guys make this bike? How can you then say, no, we're not going to make that for you? You know, like as a consumer, I don't think you lose by having 650B bikes available. It just means you have more choice.
Complaints people have about 29ers and the things that people appreciate about 29ers, it's true, you get both of those characteristics also in 650B. It's just more minor. So for some people, that's great because they don't like 29ers for some reason, and 650B isn't that. And for people who want to stick with a smaller wheel or have a problem, they're riding a 29er now and they want more travel and what's else, it's just something in the middle. I mean, is this like a fucking why is it changing question? Is that the like what is the resistance from everyone about the change? Is it the love? Is it the fear of saying goodbye to something we all grew up with and don't want to see change or go away? Why do people care so much about this change? If you can't tell the difference, why do you care?
Is this the part where somebody gets stabbed?